Perfect.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Marketing Matters. I'm Sarah Touchstone, Landmark Titles, social media marketing strategist and educator, having the pleasure of bringing you Marketing Matters live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. We bring you the best information on marketing for your real estate business out there at all, period. I'm not biased at all. And we also have the best guest speakers on as well. Today we've got Kayla, sorry. Of course I had it all right until we're recording. We've got Kayla. She is with Elite Signature Group, and she is one of our amazing notary partners. I actually saw her yesterday coming out of one of our offices as I was running in to grab some stuff. She's like, "Hey, Sarah, I'll see you tomorrow." So she's out there, she works it, and she's going to talk to us today about this is a new technique, right? It is RON, remote online notarizations. We live in a digital world. Why not have the ability to do everything digital? I know that a lot of us got really excited during the pandemic. It opened up so many doors for doing things remotely. And now notarizations. Oh, yes. So Kayla, go ahead and take it away. You should have screen sharing abilities, and
Perfect.
I'm excited to learn about this.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get my Canva presentation pulled up.
Ooh, she said Canva, guys.
I am a Canva fan, I have to say.
Love Canva. We have quite a few classes on Canva, so
perfect.
More information about that if you love this presentation.
All right, so I am talking to you guys about remote online notarizations, the basics of RON. I am Kayla Bieber, as Sarah touched on. I am a certified remote online notary and a certified mobile notary who specializes in real estate documents. They're two different certifications. So any notary who performs remote online notarizations has to have a special certification in order to do that. Like Sarah touched on, I am also the owner of Elite Signature Group. I am the owner of a nationwide signing service. So I hire notaries across the country to fulfill signing needs for any clients. And with remote online notarization, I can actually perform signings for clients who are outside of the country, which is really exciting and just another convenience factor that you guys can market to your clients. All of my notaries specialize in real estate and mortgage closings. They're all trained and vetted by me locally, and then outside of Arizona. I vet the notaries, and I also require every notary who works for me and does a signing to have additional certifications so that your clients can have the best experience at the closing table instead of just saying sign here, date here. We don't want that. We want people to be walked through the documents and have all of their questions answered. So that's what we provide. Earlier this year, I saw a need for remote online notarizations just due to all of the out-of-state closings. Obviously, we have a ton of people coming to Arizona from California, Oregon, New York, the East Coast, Chicago, places like that. And so I saw a need for remote online notarization. And so I added that to our list of services. In rural areas, I've had signings happen in Montana where there's not a notary within 50 miles that I can find online. And so RON signings, remote online notarizations, have been a savior in those situations. So I am going to, I have a slide for answering questions, but of course, if you guys have questions throughout, please let me know. So what is remote online notarization? It's essentially an in-person signing conducted virtually. RON is very much a gray area in closings to people who don't know much about it. This just allows us to serve clients more conveniently. Wherever they are, we can sign them. The signers can be anywhere, but the notary needs to remain in their commission state. So because I'm a remote online notarization doesn't mean that I can travel to Italy and do RON signings. I have to be in Arizona in order to conduct those. However, I have RON notaries all over the country. So there's always going to be a notary to perform those remote online notarizations. These are conducted by certified remote notaries through the use of state-approved and title-approved platforms. Landmark specifically has a list of approved remote online notary platforms that my notaries and I need to use. So some of those being Notarized, eNotaryLog, those are the two that I prefer. And then when we're working with different lenders, they may have their own that they prefer from that list as well. So we can be certified on different platforms, and I'm certified on several different platforms that are allowed by Landmark and different lenders. The platforms use audio and video technology. And because this is such a huge question, this is extremely secure and recorded audio and video call. This is not just a Zoom call. There's an added layer of security and identity verification. In fact, I would say remote online notarization helps me do my job of fraud prevention a little bit better. So with that being said, Arizona cities are growing at a rapid rate. According to the US Census, out of the 15 fastest growing cities in the United States, Arizona has 5 of those cities. Queen Creek, Buckeye, Goodyear, Casa Grande, and Maricopa are all of the 5 of the top 15 fastest growing cities according to the US Census. Transplants, as you all know, are calling Arizona home. And signings are being conducted out of country, out of county, out of state. And so we just wanted to provide our partners with an opportunity to get those signed by someone like myself. So one of the things that I always like to say is a notary is the most underutilized piece of this transaction for real estate and lenders. A good notary can help smooth that ending transition, that at the closing table, you really need a good notary. So having a remote online notarization being possible means someone who you know, a member of your team, can be there with the client working through those closing documents with them, even if it's virtually. So we're not hiring some random notary who you don't know, who could maybe not be professional or not show up. I've heard that happening before. So just like you have for real estate agents, you know, you have an inspector on your team and you have a handyman on your team and you partner with title and escrow. I think it's really important to understand that lenders, real estate agents, and title companies, they should have partners, notary partners that they rely on to fulfill those signing needs for them. I'm going to go through now the process of RON. So for title and escrow, the process of scheduling a RON signing is virtually the same. You're going to ensure the client has a valid government US issued ID, driver's license, state ID, passport. You want to make sure that the name on the ID matches the name on the docs. We're relying heavily on our partners here for this. It's a very important piece of this RON transaction. We also need to make sure that the client has a smartphone or a laptop with audio-visual capabilities. And when a title and when escrow officer uploads the signing to my secured online platform, they're just stating to me that it's a RON signing. So very similar to how they would utilize my platform otherwise. Fees are the same as in person. We're not upping our fees. They are the same as an in-person signing. So there's no upcharge for that. And there's no discount because it does cost the notaries time. For one, it's a lot of work on the front end of those signings, and it costs us to use most of the platforms. For my preferred platform, eNotaryLog, which is an approved Landmark platform, it charges me $13 per person for the first person, and then $6 additionally from there for every signing. So I'm spending about $20 per signing on that. And then we need to make sure that we get approval from everyone involved. This has received lender approval. I understand that Landmark's process for this is to receive signed waivers from everybody in the transaction. So just making sure that title and escrow has gotten that. Title will upload docs to the notary up to my secure platform. The notary uploads those documents to the RON platform and conducts the signing. Now, prior to the signing, the notary is going to go through and start a process called tagging. So on a RON signing, you don't just get the documents notarized. It's just the same as an online signing. So it's going to be all of the loan package or seller package can be conducted on remote online notarization. So there's nothing different when it comes to that. When I'm tagging documents, that means I'm just placing little tags where the signer is going to fill in the date, going to fill in their signature, their name, any, tax information, anything like that can all be done on remote online notarizations. The notary is going to, once the notary completes the signing, the electronic documents are uploaded back to that secure online portal where title can download them and record them. On the notarizations, there is a tag that talks about how that notarization was done virtually. So that is the process for title and escrow, and for the notary, it's very similar to an in-person signing. Any questions so far, Sarah? I'm not monitoring the chat yet.
Nope, no questions in the chat.
Perfect.
Just a quick reminder, though, that you guys can ask questions or put comments in the chat or question and answer window.
I will say I see some title partners on here. Just so you guys know, it is very important for everybody in the transaction to get the correct address, phone number, an email address, and name for the signers, just due to specific security reasons. The fraud prevention needs that exact information. It cannot differentiate from what's on their ID.
Kayla, we did have a quick question, and
Yeah.
I don't know if this is in your wheelhouse or would this
Sure.
be more on the title side. One of the questions was, is there a list of lenders that you know of that are accepting RON?
Yeah. Right now, the ones that I've done so far are UWM and Fairway. Those are the two that I have performed RON signings for. However, I truly believe that this is going to be the future of mortgage closings. And I am open to conversations, sharing my expertise with lenders and loan officers, and possibly getting those people on board.
Yeah, I know a lot of lenders that I talk with. They are excited about doing this. So it's kind of like, it's not a matter of if. For most lenders, it's just going to be a matter of when.
Correct.
However, not a lot of them are doing it yet.
Not yet. I do a lot of seller and cash deals on RON right now. Obviously, they're not loan documents, but I have done UWM and Fairway on RON specifically. Okay, so we're moving on.
Yes, and then another one question, they would love your contact info. Yeah,
of course. I can put that in the chat when we're done here. Remind me. Okay, so the signer's process. This is going to start at the beginning of opening escrow. Obviously, they have a closing date when they want to close and an idea of when documents need to be signed. So this is up to the real estate agent and the signer to determine if they're going to be in local to Arizona. Maybe they're going to be out of state. Where are they going to be? Are they going to be out of the country? So that conversation should be happening obviously at the beginning of their home buying or selling or refinancing process. If they do need a RON, obviously there's additional steps with getting everybody's approval before we even get to this point. So it's important to have those conversations early. I, as a notary, reach out to the signer with introduction and instructions. I'm going to let them know that they need to have their ID handy for the signing. It's necessary to get onto the platform. It's also necessary for me to look at the ID once they get on video. So I'm going to have all sorts of instructions and introduction with my contact information. I follow up with a welcome email with step-by-step instructions on how to get onto the platform. What can they expect? Where will they receive emails from? As well as my contact information so that they can call me when inevitably technology fails and they need tech support. So not only am I the notary, I am also tech support for many of these signers. Just with new technology, of course, there's always things that are a surprise to the signers. Once I upload documents to the platform and I finish all of my tags, meaning I put on there where they're going to sign, date, print, put their social security number and all of that, the platform will send an invitation link to the signer. They're going to follow the prompts to get logged in. They're going to pass the identification and verification steps, which we will go over in a different slide. And then we start signing. The signer is sent the signed docs after the completed signing, which just takes another thing off of title's hands, right? All of those signed documents are going to be emailed directly to the signer after that completed signing. So again, that just takes that off the plate of the escrow officer. Here's some what ifs. What if the signer is not a US citizen? They have no social security number, but they do have a foreign passport. Can we notarize them remotely? Not in Arizona. So we cannot do that in Arizona. It's not approved in Arizona to do that yet. However, we do have 2 states that allow that, which means I have a team in Virginia of remote online notaries who actually are approved to notarize a foreign individual with a foreign passport. Virginia, as well as some Florida notaries, they need to have an approved biometric system for that. So there's not a lot of them out there, but Virginia, for sure, Virginia notaries can do that. If a signer is in a foreign country but has a valid government issued US ID, can I notarize them if they're out of the country? Absolutely. And this is one of the great things about remote online notarizations. I have done several remote online notarizations for people who are in Asia, for people who are in Mexico. As long as they have a valid US issued ID, remote online notaries in Arizona can notarize them. It doesn't matter where they are. If they have a government issued US ID that is expired, can we use a credible witness? We cannot. So credible witnesses cannot be used on remote online notarizations yet. The platforms are just not set up for that. So that's why it's so important on the front end to figure out if their IDs are valid. What if the signer fails the verification process? Unfortunately, many platforms give you 1 try for the signer, and this is just part of the fraud prevention. This is what makes this so secure. If they fail the verification process, a lot of platforms will lock you out for 24 hours. So this brings up a really good point. If they were to fail the verification process, sometimes they have 2 tries for that. They were to fail both times. Obviously, the notary would need to read the situation. They can either move to a different platform and have them try again, or try again in 24 hours. And so this means that there needs to be some planning on the front end. Those same day sign, fund, and records are a little bit more difficult for remote online notarizations, just because if technology fails, if the signer fails their verification process, it really is up to the notary whether they want to proceed, because at the end of the day, the notary's job is to prevent fraud, right? And if the signer cannot pass the verification process, their livelihood is put at risk if they continue on with a signing that could be fraudulent. So just a heads up on that. We recommend 48 hours to 24 hours before closing to get the documents in and get this signed remotely. Any questions on that?
Kayla, there actually was a question.
Sure.
And this would seemingly not be a problem, but a lot of people are moving to the area and not having an address, like people who are homeless, essentially moving in, you know, maybe a lot of people are moving into the area and living out of their trailer, and then wanting to purchase. Is this something that you've, you know, run into, or, you know, what if they don't have an address?
Right. We can sign them up for the verification process with their phone number, email, and full name. So without an address, we can still do it. We can also use like a past address, one that they just moved out of. This is for security features, and I'll go over how the computer generates those questions to verify their identity in a little bit. But yeah, that should not be an issue.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Past addresses. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I would notate that though in the order for the notary that this is not their current address so that they can adjust accordingly.
Nice.
Okay, so security measures. This is what everybody wants to learn about, right? How is this safe? Is this just a Zoom call? How can you verify someone's information online on a Zoom call? This doesn't seem plausible. This is where lenders get really hung up on. And I just want to let you guys know this is very secure. There is identification verification through credential analysis. And this is technology similar to airport technology. This is where they verify their ID information. So they're just making sure it's valid. They're checking for different features of the ID. So when a signer gets on the platform, they actually have to take photos of their ID and upload it to the platform so that they can do credential analysis. Once that's finished, and we start the session, I have to also check their ID to make sure that the person I'm seeing on camera resembles the person on the ID. They also have to physically show me their ID on camera and flicker their ID back and forth so that I can see the hologram on it. So there's different ways that we make sure that this is who, that person is who they say they are. There's also knowledge-based authentication, and this is what we call KBA. They use credit and personal history based on the information that we give them, like their name, phone number, email address, and address, to create computer-generated questions that only the signer would know. Things like, what car, what make and model was your car in 2008, or which of the following addresses were not yours, or which of the following addresses did you live at in 2020? So things that only the signer would know. Like I said, the notary must also verify the ID on camera, check for holograms, and documents are tamper evident. And this is huge. There is an e-trail with every single document on that signing. So what that means is this is not visible to the naked eye, but if anything were to come into question in the court of law, they can track everywhere that the person clicked. So it'll say Kayla clicked on the date. Signer, Jane Smith clicked on their signature. So everything that is done has an e-trail. You cannot tamper with these documents once those things are completed. So there's tracking everything we do. They are not editable outside of the platform either. So you can't download the signed PDF once we're done, put it into an Adobe, Adobe editor and edit anything on those documents. They are completely locked. You cannot also, you cannot find a PDF breaker to edit these documents. And if someone were to find a way to edit them, somehow this would be shown on the e-trail because everything on those documents are tamper evident. So everything, like I said, is very secure, more secure than I would say an in-person notarization. Another security measure that we have is these all the sessions on a remote online notarization are stored for up to 5 years. So some of these platforms store them up to 10 years. Some 7 in Arizona by law. These need to be stored for up to 5 years. So if anything were to come into question, these videos can be pulled from the platform and shown to the lender. Some lenders want to request those videos right off the bat, they can literally watch the entire signing take place and everything that happened on the screen. So there's no he said, she said, anything like that. Everything will be recorded right there. Like I said, a little bit more secure than an in-person signing, right? Where you have no witness other than the notary and the person signing. So we love that security feature, and it also ensures that the notary does the right thing. All these notaries know that these are going to be recorded, so they are a little bit more careful when it comes to following the proper protocol to getting those documents signed and notarized. Another thing about the security measures is that, well, I should talk about this in the title and escrow process. One of the great things about remote online notarizations is as long as the notary creates all of the proper tags, does not miss a tag, the system will not allow you to complete your signing without completing all of the tags, which means this is going to reduce funding conditions, errors at signing, funding delays, things like that, because as long as all of the tags are there, you cannot miss a signature. It's going to flag you as to if anything were to be missing on those documents. So again, just a little bit less risk when you're doing it in person, and you can grab 2 pages at once and miss something or anything like that. So we love Ron for that. It flags you if anything is missing. Here are some benefits of Ron that I think you guys can market to your clients. You can sign on a smartphone. You can be anywhere at any time. Signers can be, and I just did this recently, in 2 different locations on the same video call. So let's say the wife is in Montana, the husband is in Colorado, which is the exact situation I had last week. We can have the same video, the same session with both of those people in 2 different locations. So instead of charging for 2 out-of-state notaries, which would be $200 on a buyer for each signing, so that's a $400 cost. Now we're doing a raw notarization, which is $150, and we're only doing it one time. So that's a huge cost savings for your clients. You can use a trusted notary on your team. Typically, I try to take all of my remote online notarizations if I can. So if I have a partner who's requesting a RON signing, I'm taking those because I want your clients to have the best possible experience. And I love partnering with my clients. I want to make sure that I'm the one doing the signings if possible. And so you can have a trusted signing agent instead of a stranger notary in a different state that you have no idea who they are, they have no idea who you are, and they have no vested interest in that transaction, right? So that's a beautiful thing about Ron is you know your client is in good hands, less errors, less no-shows, of course. And it's efficient. It saves time on turnaround for signed closing documents. There's no scanning documents, no shipping documents. They are literally downloaded directly to my computer once the signing is over and uploaded to the secure portal. And so it's efficient, saves time. One of the things that is required for RON signings is a really strong Wi-Fi connection. We want to make sure that this is the best possible experience for you and your clients. And so in order to create that really great experience, we want to make sure that there's no technical issues. If there is a break in the Wi-Fi connection, by law, that signing has to start over again. So it's important to just communicate to your signers that if they're in another country, sometimes their Wi-Fi connections in their homes are not as strong. It's important to, just make sure that all of our bases are covered. They have a strong Wi-Fi connection, audio and visual capabilities on their technology that they're going to be using, smartphone or laptop. Their ID matches the documents on the lender side and title side. So as long as we're covering all those bases ahead of time, this whole process can be very smooth and very convenient for those clients. So this is the time I have for questions, if there are any more. I truly believe that this is the future of loan signing, and would love to serve you guys in this way. If you are a loan officer or real estate agent and you want to get this information out to your team, of course, please share this YouTube video that will be coming out with your sales rep. But also, I'm happy to come in and share this exact presentation with your team members because anyone who's a partner of Landmark is a partner of mine. And I'm happy to meet with all of you.
Awesome, Kayla. That was great. If anybody has any other questions, please let us know. Kayla's going to go ahead and put her contact information down in the chat window. I know that was one of the questions. So go ahead and ask away. We're going to wrap up today sharing what else we have coming up. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, please put them down below. I'm going to go through upcoming classes that we have real quickly and then get you guys out of here. So tomorrow we've got a mental fitness workshop. This is the second one this month that Mary is doing. It is 9:30 to 11 tomorrow down in the Biltmore area at our new Camelback Road training room. I will actually be there and taking this. I just took the little assessment quiz and I am apparently a high achiever. That is like my number one thing. So if you want to participate, there is still time to get in on that. That's tomorrow morning. And then moving forward to next week, on Tuesday, November 1st, Renee is hosting a class. This is about short-term rental laws. This is a really important one, especially with us moving in to the Super Bowl coming in February. Know the laws and protect yourself and your clients especially. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be wanting to do short-term rentals. And you as the realtor have an incredible opportunity to reach out with knowledge. That is going to be 11 a.m. on Tuesday. And then we've got a couple of CE classes coming up. Next Thursday, November 3rd, there is an AAR pre-qualification form and the agent. This is going to be for 3 hours of contract law. It's going to be from 9 until noon. And this is going to be at the Holiday Inn Conference Room in Glendale. So if you're interested in that one, this is an in-person CE class next Thursday. And then the following week, Wednesday, November 9th, we've got our Prescott office finishing up their landmark tour series with the history of Whiskey Row. And there's going to be an after party from 4 to 6. So if you're a Prescott agent, come check it out. If you are an agent here in the Valley and you want to just go spend the afternoon up in Prescott, honestly, I can't think of a nicer way to spend a Wednesday. I'll be there also doing GIFs if you want to get some of those. And then on November 16th, Patty and Michael are hosting another CE class. This is 3 hours of legal issues, and this is going to be at the Atrium in Arrowhead. It's going to be on, like I said, November 16th from 9 until noon, and this is going to be on VA, FHA, and reverse mortgages. That'll be a really good one. And then we're wrapping up our fall CE Zoom series, our landmark title. We do these on the third Thursdays of the month, in the fall and the spring, with fair housing. That's not fair. This is going to be Thursday, November 17th from 10 to 1, and this is on Zoom. So if you need your credits, get them in by the end of the year. Zoom is always a great way to do it. And then December 1st, there's an introduction to divorce real estate. Yes, the majority of divorces happen after the holidays. So take this class, get the knowledge. It's also 3 hours of legal issues. That's going to be December 1st from 9 until noon. And that's it for us, guys. So thank you to Kayla for coming on. Ron is an amazing, amazing product. We're really excited to be on the forefront with partners like Kayla and to be able to offer this to our realtors and their clients. It's going to be really cool seeing this develop. If you have any questions for her, please reach out. She did put her information down in the chat window. And of course, thank you to our business development management team, Beth, Becky, Melinda, Mary, Patty, Michelle, and Prescott, Michael, Tom, and Renee. Any questions that you guys have regarding marketing or your business, they are your best partners. And then, of course, thank you to Landmark Title for allowing us to bring you Marketing Matters every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. We have 7 offices across the Valley to service all of your escrow and title needs, as well as one in Prescott. Carrie, you should, right above your comments in the chat window, you should see her information. She just put it back in there as well. And if you do need to, please reach out to myself too, and I can get you her contact information. My email is always sarah.touchstone@ltaz.com for any questions you have or anything you'd like to see featured on Marketing Matters. This is your platform. This is for the realtors. So if you have any questions or comments or things you'd like to see on this, please reach out. We're a local company, and we love to service you in all the ways that you need. But speaking of local, we also do have national partners. So thank you to our national partners. We have partners across the country. So if you're ever doing a deal in another area, please reach out to your business development manager and ask if one of our partners covers that area. We've got Homestead Title, Capital Title, and US Title. And that's it for us today, guys. Thank you everyone for coming out and have a wonderful day.